How's it going, Sly fans? This is Britt here, one of the admins from the Sly Cooper fan page on Facebook, as well as this YouTube page. And today I'm just going to do a vlog about Sly 4, Thieves in Time. Some just topics that you guys wanted me to discuss. You guys also gave me some questions you wanted me to answer, and I have a few updates for you guys on Thieves in Time. And then at the end of this video, I'll be doing some demo code giveaways. So just a few updates. We have a new trailer uploaded onto our YouTube page that PlayStation released. It's actually really super cool, so you guys should check it out. It just makes me really excited about the new game. There's also going to be a new demo that is going to be released next month, sometime in January. This was recently confirmed by someone from Sony, so hopefully we'll get our hands on that. We finally have a release date for Europe, and it is March 27th, 2013. I repeat, March 27th, 2013. My head is so shiny. I'm sorry, my overhead light in my room is like really obnoxious, so I apologize. But today, for the most part, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming villains in Thieves in Time. I think what makes a Sly Cooper game like really great are how awesome the villains are. I think the villains are probably one of my favorite aspects about the Sly games, and when I rank them in my head, I always put Sly 2 first. Sly 2 is always my favorite Sly Cooper game, and I think for the most part it's because of the villains. Like, the villains are just really awesome in Sly 2. So I'm just gonna go over a few of the villains that have been released thus far and what, I think might happen in Sly 4. First person we're gonna talk about is everyone's favorite mechanical owl, Clockwork. Now, I know what you guys might be thinking, but Britt, they destroyed the hate chip in the second game. How can Clockwork come back?
Because we're traveling back in time!
Clockwork is a professional stalker when it comes to the Cooper clan. Pretty certain he's been stalking since like 2000 BC with Slight and Common Cooper the second. You can see Clockwork in like all of the photos in the Thievius Raccoonus of Sly's ancestors. So it wouldn't surprise me if they happen to run into Clockwork as they're traveling back and forth through time. And Clockwork is a very intelligent owl. So I think he's gonna catch on what's going on and, try to defeat Sly then and there. But the Cooper gang has to be really careful about how they go about it, because they can't kill Clockwork while they're in another time period, because that means that Clockwork would have never founded the Fiendish Five, which means the Fiendish Five would have never murdered Sly's parents, which means that Sly would never have met Bentley or Murray or possibly Carmelita. So they need to be careful. I'm sure Bentley will get all that under control, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if the gang ran into Clockwork at some point in the game. Next, we have numbers 2 and 3. The only thing that's been released on them is their names and what they look like. So it's not confirmed that they're villains or not, but since the Sly's ancestors are the added allies in the game, like, it wouldn't make sense to me for them to add even more allies. So in my mind, they are going to be villains. So the first one is Grizzleby, and the second one is Ms. Dezebel. I think Grizzleby is going to be in Sir Galeth's level. He's wearing a crown and has a scepter and stuff, so that looks kind of like medieval to me. So I think he might have like taken over the throne in Sir Galeth's level, and now he's like ruling and has imprisoned Sir Galeth. And Sir Galeth talks about this black tyrant that has imprisoned him, and Grizzleby is a black bear, so he could be talking. So the Grizzleby could possibly be the black tyrant. And as for Miss Dezebel, I believe that she's going to be in Salim Al-Qapar's level in Arabia. She just looks so weird to me. Like, I don't know if I even want to know how she got that trumpet lodged in her trunk. Like, I just feel like that's a very painful story to have to retell. But when I think of Arabia, I think of Snake Charming. I really don't know why. I just think of Snake Charming. So that makes me think that Ms. Jezebel is going to use her trunk to mesmerize people. So maybe she mesmerizes Salim Al-Kupar and then like some other people in the level. So I think that's like gonna be her main ability, is Snake Charming / mesmerizing. Though they need to be kind of really original in how they do it, because that would remind me of the Contessa in Sly 2 with the whole brainwashing thing. Alright, so moving on to number 3, we have El Jefe, who is the really awesome looking tiger. I mean, he has like dual swords and can like fire bend. El Jefe is the main bad guy in Ryoichi Cooper's level in feudal Japan. They've already released the boss battle of Sly fighting El Jefe, so there's nothing too more revealing on this, but from one of the cutscenes that they've released, it seems that El Jefe works for someone else, which I kind of find ironic since his name is El Jefe, which means the boss in Spanish. But that leads me to number 4, and the most mysterious character thus far. The Collector. Not much has been released on the Collector thus far. Well, the first thing that was shown of him was a silhouette, and you cannot see his face whatsoever. It's just a rough outline. So they've kept the Collector very much under wraps. So it's really fun to try to think of, like, what is he going to do in this game? So I've come up with 2 different theories. But before I go over any theories, one thing has to be for certain, and that is the Collector needs to have a time machine. Otherwise, I don't know how the heck he would be doing this stuff. Because I believe he's the main antagonist of the game, or at least the one who calls all the shots. So in order for him to be doing all this stuff, he needs to have a time machine, which makes me think that he's from either the present or from the future. Also, in his teaser image, you can see him holding a little remote control, so that makes me think that that's like maybe the control to the time machine. Now, he has to have a motive to want to change the Thievius Raccoonus, or whatever his motive is results in the changing of the Thievius Raccoonus. With that in mind, I came up with these 2 different theories. Theory 1. I believe that the Collector is somehow related to Sly. I don't think he's an ancestor. I think he's either from present day or possibly from the future. The reason why I think he's Sly's ancestor is because they released this photo of the Collector, which is also a silhouette, but it's like a full body shot, and you can see this like giant tail behind him, which makes me believe that he's a raccoon or a Cooper or something. So what I think is that somewhere in the past, there was an evil or dishonest or very sneaky Cooper, in a bad way sneaky. And because of his evil ways or deeds, that he was disowned from the family, so he didn't get to inherit the Thievius Raccoonus. So I think that the Collector is somehow related to this disowned Cooper. So I think he's trying to rewrite the Thievius Raccoonus, or trying to change the past, which results in the changing of the Thievius Raccoonus, so he can inherit it instead. The way he does that is by imprisoning and taking the canes of Sly's ancestors, because without their canes, they can't create the moves to put down the Thievius Raccoonus. If he's not related to Sly, then this is how Theory 2 comes in. From looking at the image, he can also be like a squirrel or a skunk or a weasel or an anteater even. I'd probably lean more towards a skunk or a weasel, because those are just kind of like really shady animals to begin with in the anthropomorphic world. When the original photo was released, someone tried to lighten up the image and it turned into this like green creature, but I don't think that the Collector is a reptile or an amphibian. His nose is kind of like buttony, and it's kind of like snoutish like, and that's not really like a reptile at all. I mean, he could be a chameleon, because I could totally see them having a chameleon like change into another like animal. So maybe he looks like Sly and he's trying to, take Sly's place or something or other. So if he's gonna live up to his collector name, then that makes me believe that he wants to collect the Cooper canes. And since the Cooper vault has basically been imploded upon, it would be impossible for him to get the canes out of the vault. So he basically gathers up a gang. So like El Jefe, Miss Jezebel, Grizzleby, and 2 other villains that we have not been introduced to yet because there's more than just 3 levels. The gang, the assembling of the gang also coincides with the other theory as well, and then sends them off to different areas or eras to take the Cooper canes in order to collect them. And it has basically been confirmed that the canes do get taken at one point. In the boss battle with El Jefe, you can see Ryoichi's cane on his back. So Ryoichi's cane was taken. So that makes me think that the collector is trying to collect all of the Cooper canes. Now, I don't know if he just wants to keep them for himself or to sell them for monetary value. Now, I know a lot of people have this idea that the collector is actually Sly's dad, and I don't know, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like I said, the collector needs a motive to change the Thievius Raccoonus. And as far as I know, Sly's dad is deceased in present day, unless he somehow faked his death and built a time machine secretly. Sly's dad is super intelligent. He invented the laser slide and had, a laptop in his portion of the Cooper Vault, but I can't see Sly's dad being evil. I feel like that would be the most cliche thing they could possibly do ever. Like, can you, imagine the scene in the game? Like, Sly would be like, my father fought against evil villains like you, and then the collector would be like,
no, Sly, I am your father.
No! Seriously, no. No, I will throw my remote control if that's what happens, because quite honestly, that is the most cliche thing in existence. So thus concludes my rant about Sly villains. So I'm gonna go over a little bit of Q&A that you guys sent me. Who is your favorite Sly Cooper ancestor? Really? I feel like everyone on the Facebook page knows by now who is my favorite Sly Cooper ancestor. But for those of you who don't know, it is Tennessee Kid Cooper, because he is the most awesome person on the face of this planet. What impresses you about Sly 4? I'm definitely going to have to say the plot, although the plot technically hasn't been released yet, but when anything involves time travel, it's always going to have this really intricate plot that might sometimes be hard to follow, but when it involves traveling through time, it has to be really, really well thought out. So I just have a feeling the storyline is going to be really, really fantastic for this game, and probably almost as detailed as the second Sly game, because I really enjoyed the plot in the second Sly game. Do you think there will be new moves, and can you wear the collectible masks, and do they have special powers? I definitely think there's going to be new moves. I don't know if Sly's going to have new moves, but the ancestors are definitely going to have their own special moves. We've already seen this with Ryoichi and his leaping dragon technique. So I think all the ancestors are going to have their own special move that Sly doesn't know. And I also really like the different moves of the ancestors. Like, for example, Ryoichi is really quick and sneaky. I mean, all the Coopers are sneaky, obviously, but Ryoichi's a ninja, so he's the definition of sneaky. And Galith moves kind of slowish, but that makes sense because he's wearing armor. So I just think it's really cool that they're paying so much attention to detail. As for the collectible masks, I don't think you can wear them. I mean, I think they just have the similar the same things as Sly clue bottles. Now it'd be really cool if it's the first game and you can learn new moves from collecting the clue bottles. I guess collecting the masks will give you a new move, or maybe you get an extra costume or something out of it. So I think that'd be really cool if they did it like that. But otherwise, I don't think they have any special powers, since there's already costumes for each level, it looks like, that gives Sly this extra special ability. Okay, so demo giveaway time. So I've tried to come up with some really hard ID me / who am I questions. There's going to be 3 total, and in order to win these, you have to be the first person to answer correctly in the comments below. And it's only going to be 1 winner per question, like you can't win multiple questions. Okay, so the first ID me. I will always hold the door open for you. I have a great fashion sense, and some consider me to be a master of disguise. Number 2. People believe that I'm Irish. I have a love for hats, and you better watch where you step. And the last one, people just don't seem to understand me. I've been a part of a group, and I really like to watch music videos. Alright guys, so that's it for my vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it wasn't too boring and or long, and I hope it was somewhat entertaining for you guys. Please leave a comment below about, if you want to discuss anything that I've talked about, or if you want to share your own theories. I would love to hear it. And please like us on Facebook if you haven't already, and or subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love to talk with you guys on Facebook, and you guys can chat with the rest of the Sly Cooper fandom. So again, my name is Britt, and I'm one of the admins on the Sly Cooper fan page. Signing off. Talk to you guys later.